Hello and welcome to Star Wars: The Living Set. Will, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Excited to be back again for another episode of Star Wars: The Living Set. So we're guessing if you're here, you probably like Star Wars, you might like collecting cards, and you might like some cool artwork, and that's what we're here for, right?
Yep.
So on this channel, what we do every single time is we talk about Star Wars: The Living Set. It's a set that was put out by Topps. They have 2 new cards every single week. In fact, they're almost up to 500 cards in this set.
I think they're on like 480 or 490 or something.
I think it's even higher. It's pretty cool.
They're pretty close.
Yep, and we're actually, what we do is every single time we do an episode, we talk about 4 cards. So we're trying to get caught up. It's going to take us a while.
It's going to take us a long time.
But that's what we're here for. So if you're interested in the cards, check out Topps.com. Otherwise, we're going to start this week with card number 145, Mando from The Mandalorian. So tell me when The Mandalorian came out, we saw the first episode.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the door goes, opens up, and there he is.
Yep.
What'd you think?
I think we've talked about this before, first impressions, but I'm going to say it again. I love The Mandalorian, like many people do.
Yep.
It is hands down my favorite Star Wars show.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Okay.
Even more than Ahsoka. And if you're here for a while, you know that I'm a humongous fan of Ahsoka.
Those are strong words.
Yes.
Okay.
Mando is just simply better. But I just loved how it started off with like this one guy. He's still in it like his like red like rusted up armor. He doesn't have his fancy stuff yet.
Yep.
He walks into this like bar in the middle of this frozen whatever area and goes over, has a bounty. Then all the other guys are trying to like fight him and stuff, and he easily takes him down, no problem. Right there, I was already in love. I love The Mandalorian. My first impression was just, this guy is awesome. It's going to be like Boba Fett, but 10 times better. It was amazing.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. So if you think of just the live action stuff,
Yep.
the only live action I think we really had before The Mandalorian was like Boba Fett, as far as Mandalorians, right?
Yeah, that was...
Again, I know there's cartoons, there's comics, but as far as live action...
Mandalorian stuff.
It was basically Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, and then Mando. Pretty big jump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was hooked from like the moment that door opens, I was like, I'm in. So let's talk about some of the stats real quick. They made 4,283 of this card, which is the 5th most made card.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
At all.
Yep, 520 been graded by PSA, 107 9s, and 407 10s.
Jesus.
That's a lot. So,
That's a lot.
The actor, which we don't know who the actor is until like season 2.5.
Yeah.
Well, we know who he is, but we don't see his face.
Yeah.
It's Pedro Pascal, who of course was in Game of Thrones. He was in Narcos. He was in Kingsman. And this entire thing was created by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Now, I love Jon Favreau, but I'm going to say, you know what? Shout out to Jon Favreau for creating this amazing series. It's supposed to be set about 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And of course, the Mandalorian himself was orphaned and then joined the Mandalorian way. So I think we could spend hours.
We could easily spend hours on this card.
Yeah, on this card, on this character. If you're watching this, you've probably seen the Mandalorian. I don't know what else to say about this one, but again, I think just a truly amazing character. I love the crossover to Boba Fett. I love all the things that he did.
Yeah.
Just, again, congratulations to Jon Favreau for creating this amazing character and just absolutely thrilling. My favorite show easily out of all the live action shows. You?
Yes.
All right. I'm sure he'll come up again. I think he does come up again. In
Yep.
fact, let's go to card 146. Bo-Katan Kryze, not the live action,
Not the live action one.
but from Clone Wars.
This is the Clone Wars one.
Which is where the first time we see Bo-Katan is in the Clone Wars, I believe, right?
I believe it is, yes.
All right, so tell us about Bo-Katan.
So, Bo-Katan, number 146, we're on the stats quick so we can get them out of the way. They made 1,352. 62 have been graded by PSA, 17 9s, and 44 10s. The voice actress is Katie
Sackhoff, I believe.
Sackhoff? Okay,
Yep.
we believe.
Yep.
And then
Remember, she was also in other shows.
other shows, which is...
Yep. So she was actually in Starbuck. She was also on Battlestar, and then she's been in 63 different shows and movies.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah. Good job, Katie. Yep.
And then more about the actual character. She was a Mandalorian born into House Kryze.
Yep.
Then she was also part of the Death Watch and Night Owls. And then her armor is 3 generations old. So her armor that she's wearing has been either the same one or melted down and reforged into new armor.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Many times.
Okay.
AKA 3 generations.
Got it.
And then she first appeared on the 14th episode of the Clone Wars show, and is apparently named after Dave Filoni's cat.
Yeah, so apparently her character was created by Dave Filoni for the Clone Wars. So again, this card is the Clone Wars cartoon version.
Yeah.
We'll see Bo-Katan later in a live action version card, I believe from Mando, in fact.
That was the first time we ever saw her. Was I think it's third, fourth season, but we don't actually get a live action Bo-Katan until then.
Yeah,
everything up until then was all animated stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. So the person, Katie, who does the voice for cartoon Bo-Katan, all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to be the actor for Bo-Katan. So when you do a voice, you don't really have to like look like the person.
Yeah, you just have to sit in like a recording studio.
Yeah, and nobody'd ever heard what Bo-Katan sounded like. So Katie set the standard for what Bo-Katan sounds like. And then she comes back, and we'll talk about this later, she comes back and she actually acts Bo-Katan, which is truly amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep. Any nuggets you want to throw out? Because I know you're a big Bo-Katan fan. You love your Clone Wars.
Yep.
Any sort of nuggets you want to throw about Bo-Katan on this one?
I'm going to throw just a few.
A few.
I'm pretty sure we have talked about Duchess Satine, have we?
We have, I believe, yes. Yep.
Yes, so I think we might have mentioned this, but later on in the Clone Wars show,
Yep.
I believe it's 4th or 5th season, towards the end, we find out that Bo-Katan is Satine's sister.
Ooh.
Which is kind of confusing to some people, because if you're a Clone Wars fan, you know that Death Watch and like the Mandalorians that
Yep.
Satine rules over don't mix. They're basically almost like this terrorist group. They're doing all this bad stuff.
Even though they're all Mandalorians, they don't get along.
They're all Mandalorians, they don't get along.
Got it. Okay.
Many people might be confused with that, and I was at first. It took me many watch-throughs to understand.
Kind of like the Ted Lasso line of how many countries are in this country.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So kind of what it is, to sum it down, is they have different views on what Mandalore should look like.
Oh, that's right.
Satine and all the other people that are living in the Dome City, I'm blanking on what it's called.
That's right. Go with it.
The main city.
Okay.
They believe in just like peace and just like chilling and hanging out. Well, the Death Watch group is much more, we should keep our Mandalorian ways.
Got it.
The Mandalorians have always been a very warlike not species, like a very warlike
culture. We'll go with.
let's
Okay.
say. So they are against Satine doing all this stuff and just making it all peaceful. And that's kind of how they are sisters, but also going against two very different things.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, so we're going to see Bo-Katan come back later in live action Bo-Katan.
will.
And I think we actually have it up here. What
did.
card number is that up there?
165.
165. So like 20-ish cards from now. So about 5-ish episodes, we're going to come back with live Bo-Katan. But again, awesome job on this one was Bo-Katan Clone Wars.
Yep.
Again, for Katie Sackhoff, who then comes back later. All right. Anything else on that one?
Not yet. I am going to throw out a few more when we get to that one.
Okay.
Because I don't want to talk about stuff that happens in Mando.
Yep.
With that one. So, yeah.
Got it. All right. Next card, number 147. Also with you, WG-22 from Solo. So tell us about this weird gonk droid looking thing.
We're going to stats quick. They made 1,886 of this one. 54 have been graded. 11 9s and 43 10s.
Yep.
The actor for this droid is Warwick Davis.
Which, I mean, Warwick Davis does everything.
Warwick Davis.
Right? From Ewoks to droids to everything.
Including, also, what
Okay.
you're saying,
Yep.
other things he's been in Star Wars. Weasel, BD, right?
I think it's DDBD.
DDBD,
Yep.
and W1E65.
Yep. I don't remember those specifically, but I'm sure we can add some pictures in for those.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis doing a lot of stuff for us here. Yep. Okay.
And a little more about the character before I go into that. He's basically just the guy when they're on Solo, and they're going to they've met Lando already.
Yep.
And they're going to meet L3. WG-22 is one of the droids that is currently in the battle doing like the
fighting pits.
droid beat up whatever thing.
Got it.
That thing.
Okay.
So he is one of those droids.
Okay.
And then more about the character, he is a Gonk Gladiator. That's a cool name.
Yeah, that is cool.
Modified power droid.
Yep. Apparently that's what WG-22 is.
And that type of droid, I'm guessing, was designed for fighting in pits, as we see.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures up from this one again. Random droid from Solo, but obviously has a little bit of backstory. So, all right, good on that one. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this week with the last card number 148, the Client from Mandalorian. So the Client is, of course, the person who's trying to get Baby Yoda / Grogu. He's the person that ends up negotiating with Mando, giving him all the Beskar,
Yep.
and a lot of stuff that happens there. It's very interesting. So we're going to go some quick stats on this one. They made 1,291, 64 being graded by PSA, 29s and 44 10s. Now, the actor is a guy named Werner Herzog. Now, the one thing that I wrote down about this guy, he accepted the role of being the client because he liked the screenplay so much, but he has never seen a Star Wars movie. Pretty interesting, I thought, on that one, right? So he's not around very long in the show. Of course, he's kind of there to help. He keeps kind of popping up at the beginning, the first season, to try to continue to get Baby Yoda / Grogu. But I thought it was just super interesting that, again, he apparently really liked the screenplay, but had never seen a Star Wars movie.
That's just
pretty interesting look at that one. So
I think we've had 3 actors or voice actors in like the past few episodes
yeah,
that haven't seen a single bit of Star Wars and are like pretty decent characters. Obviously not like top level characters, but like the client is a pretty big part of Mandalorian for a while.
Yep.
Because he's the guy who's supposedly trying to get Grogu, but then we find out he's actually trying to get him from the doctor. Trying to get him
yep,
from
Dr.
Moff
Pershing.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's all that stuff going on.
Yeah, so pretty interesting on that one. So not a lot on that card, honestly. So that's going to wrap up for this week. So before we do leave, you got to make sure you pick your favorite card of the week.
Mando.
Yeah, Mando for sure. I'm going Mando. The other ones, they're cool.
They're pretty good.
Nice job, Kris Penix. Great job. However, Mando is definitely the best one this week. So if you're interested in the cards, Topps.com. Shout out to Kris Penix, who does all the artwork for these amazing cards. We're now up to card number 148. Which we're moving along, but it'll take us a while to catch up. So we hope you guys like the show. We hope you learned something about Star Wars or the characters, and we'll see you guys soon.